9, 2023, the chair recognizes the gentleman from Georgia, Mr. Clyde, for 30 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask unanimous consent that all members have 5 legislative days to revise and extend their remarks and submit extraneous materials.
Without objection.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On January 13th of this year, the ATF finalized its unconstitutional rule pertaining to firearms with stabilizing braces. Under this new ATF rule, any pistol-braced firearm would be considered an illegal short-barreled rifle, subjecting these firearms to draconian regulations under the NFA, the National Firearms Act of 1934, and turning millions of law-abiding gun owners into criminals literally overnight. Unelected anti-gun bureaucrats informed law-abiding gun owners possessing pistols with these braces attached that they will have only 120 days to register them once the rule is published in the Federal Register. This 120-day amnesty window started yesterday, January 31st. As we have seen across the world time and time again, what comes before gun confiscation? Gun registration. That's right. That's exactly what ATF is now demanding. But for stabilizer brace owners who do not wish to register their firearms, the ATF provides 4 alternatives. The first, turn in the entire firearm with the attached stabilizing brace to the ATF. That means forfeiting your firearm. The second, destroy the whole firearm. Again, another forfeiture of your firearm. The third, convert the pistol brace into a long-barreled rifle that does not require registration, but is also much more difficult to use with a brace. Or number 4, permanently remove and dispose of or alter the stabilizing brace from the firearm so that it cannot be reattached. If gun owners who possess braced firearms refuse to register, destroy, turn in, or alter their firearm after this 120-day window, they face National Firearms Act violations, felony violations, including hefty fines up to $250,000 and up to 10 years in prison for having an unregistered short-barreled rifle. In other words, the ATF's rule turns law-abiding gun owners into criminals, into felons for simply doing nothing. That's right. If they do nothing, then after 120 days, they are in felony violation of ATF's reinterpreted law, all for simply maintaining their Second Amendment freedoms. So what exactly are these alleged hazardous stabilizing braces? A pistol brace, also known as a stabilizing brace, is simply an accessory that is attached to the rear of a large firearm in order to anchor the gun to the shooter's arm to better stabilize it, allowing them to more accurately be shot one-handed, just like what you see right here. This is a stabilizing brace. These braces were actually designed to help disabled veterans enjoy the sport of shooting. In fact, as a federal firearms licensee, my company has sold many of these pistol brace firearms to assist disabled veterans so they can improve their shooting capabilities and their accuracy. Unfortunately, these beneficial braces have faced uniformed and unwarranted backlash from unelected bureaucrats for years. In 2012, the ATF provided a letter determining that pistol braces were legal to use and to shoulder. This decision was then reversed 3 years later by the ATF in 2015, in which stabilizing braces became illegal to shoulder, turning braced firearms into unregistered short-barreled rifles. Now, the braces remained legal if held at arm's length, but illegal if brought back to the shoulder. How does that make any sense? This flip-flopped again in 2017, when stabilizing braces were once more determined to be legal to shoulder by the ATF, as long as the original design of the brace remained unmodified. And now here we are in 2023, as braced pistols are vilified yet again, declared by the ATF to be unregistered short-barreled rifles, requiring registration, and their owners classified as felons if they simply do nothing. Clearly, as in most cases of unconstitutional gun control, unelected bureaucrats who have little to no knowledge of firearms or respect for the Second Amendment rights are steamrolling ahead with unlawful restrictions, which will impact, estimates say, anywhere from 3 million to up to 40 million firearms across the country. Why? to advance the less dangerous dream of disarming our nation and dismantling our Second Amendment rights. That's what gun control is all about. The ultimate goal is an unarmed and subjugated America. I can assure gun owners across this great nation that I and Second Amendment-loving Republican colleagues will do everything in our power to never allow that to happen. We are fighting this, and we are not going to give up. Congress cannot allow the ATF to brazenly disregard both our Constitution and Congress's role, its sole role in legislation, its legislative authority. Now, I don't know if ATF Director Dettelbach needs a copy of the Constitution to revisit the explicit language of the Second Amendment or the direct powers granted to the three branches of government, but the last time I checked, only Congress has the authority to make laws. Let me say that again. Congress makes laws, not unelected anti-gun bureaucrats at the ATF, or any other part of the executive branch for that matter. Yet, given the ATF's severely misguided decision to advance its unconstitutional pistol brace rule, I'm actively leading the fight to stop this grave injustice. We have three key tools available to us to fight the ATF's tyranny in Congress. The first is H.R. 646, the Stop Harassing Owners of Rifles Today Act, or the SHORT Act, which I reintroduced yesterday with Senators Roger Marshall and John Kennedy. This legislation repeals the elements of the National Firearms Act, thereby prohibiting the ATF from registering and banning pistols with stabilizing braces. The second element is a joint resolution of disapproval under the Congressional Review Act, which we will introduce in a matter of days to block the ATF's rule from infringing on Americans' Second Amendment rights. Congressman Richard Hudson, our conference NRCC chair, has joined me in co-leading this in the House, while Senators John Kennedy and Roger Marshall will introduce the resolution in the Senate. And the third way that we can fight this here in Congress is through the power of the purse. As we write the ATF's appropriations for fiscal year 2024, we can prevent taxpayer dollars from funding this backdoor gun control through what's called a limitation amendment. As a new member on the Appropriations Committee and the Commerce, Justice, and Science Subcommittee, I look forward to assisting in this effort. With these three initiatives, we can work together to stop the ATF's unconstitutional overreach. You know, it would be better if the ATF simply decided to rescind the pistol brace rule so we would not have to take these permanent measures. But we are fully prepared to do so if they will not rescind it. Now, I'm proud to have several of my colleagues here tonight to expose the ATF's unconstitutional rule, as well as to highlight how Congress can stop this latest form of gun control from infringing on law-abiding gun owners' Second Amendment freedoms. So, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to yield 3 minutes to my good friend from New Jersey, Mr. Van Drew.